You can't just like give this shit up.
You can. I know people who have gotten off the grid.
But it's hard.
Yeah.
And you've chosen not to do it. We've chosen not to do it for reasons.
Well, you're in the military, right? Or so, you know, you probably have those survival instincts where it's like, yeah, if I wanted to go off the grid, I could.
I think they propagandize the military too much. They're not all badasses. Okay?
Well, I know some real badasses in the
They're
military.
lying too. They're fucking lying too. They're just people.
I know people in the Canadian Air Force who just, you know, they thought they can start a fire with nothing.
Oh yeah, but like.
There's a lot more to
like
So anyways, back to your thing is like, you don't play into the dialectic. That's how you win.
This is what I'm getting at. Like, it's so difficult that that grown-up system actually succeed. That together, eight together, they're strong.
Instead of the two chess pieces or whatever.
Yeah.
You're saying don't fight the other thing, you know, step out. You're saying a similar thing, but
Just have a I mean, it's tough to explain, but.
Well, I got your flash drive.
Yep, you got the flash drive.
Check it out.
Anyway, like, yeah, sorry I came off so aggro right away.
Yeah, we heard
my
some
friend
bad
felt deeply harassed. Your friend's kind of a dick. You're pretty cool.
I'm a Richard.
You can call him Richard.
Yeah.
Is that your name?
is that your name?
Yeah.
Oh, no fucking way.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Sure.
Richard and Miles.
Me.
Do you guys come out here all the time?
No, not this one.
Where do you usually go?
Actually, every time we come to Harriet, there's always like
Yeah, we get a lot of people.
rowdy.
We get a lot of.
You get a lot of like our type, you know, the
Oh my God, we're being harassed!
Yeah, people call the police. I've had the police called on me more times in Harriet than
That's
any
what
other
they
time.
do. They bear false witness.
Because
Yeah, they say
you're not
we
allowed to
attacked-
chalk up on my sidewalk. We're calling the police, and then they'll call the police.
Call the police, they attacked us.
You guys are kind of base.
like cop collars.
I hope that you like.
Yeah, I mean you're good guy, man. I mean you know once we talk it out,
Very proud.
but
Yep.
we have a lot more in common other than this
I
than
believe you're
than
absolutely right. I think you're
what do
absolutely
you think,
right.
man. But
You always like a or do you
everybody deals with it their own way. That's the thing. Is I'd like
We go
to
all around.
I like to pull the Band-Aid off.
Yeah,
I like to pull the Band-Aid off right away instead of hair by hair, personally.
What's the organization? I can just Google it.
You have a.
I don't want.
Do you want to give me your flyer?
Oh, of course, yeah.
All right.
Always. You want the Bible one?
Whatever your website wanted.
As long as you guys come and have a good conversation.
Yeah. And there's a lot more other people out there too that deliver the message better than I do. So,
Don't be sorry.
but a lot of people who talk about truth, they stick on social media.
So, yeah,
They don't come
the
out
goal
and bring their
was
social media concepts out to you. Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, not
Is this a two-party
Or, like,
consent
one of
state?
the
Does
social
that make
media
it in trouble?
platforms, or is it
No, it's a
like
one consent state. Yeah.
Needles come back
Well,
in town.
YouTube is so.
we're
Status.
YouTube is so status. They remove anyone who goes against their narrative.
YouTube is capitalism.
Yep.
I can't get
Face-
any social
face
media
palm.
banned me, like ever.
You can't?
No, everyone I know is getting bans on social media. So I'm just like, I'm trying to be offensive as fuck. No one cares.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
liberal.
Yeah, talk about flat earth.
Maybe that's the trick.
Just to be trendy, see what
Just see
happens. Hey, Earth is flat. Just say, hey, Earth is flat, and then just have the vultures come after you.
Maybe as an experiment.
Guy at we were at Nokomis on Monday, and guy yelled at me and said, "Burn the witch." He believes in flat Earth. Literally screamed it at the top of his lungs.
Burn the witch at you?
Yeah.
Hilarious and
With like
ironic.
12 people around the table.
As a person who is a witch, I find that deeply insulting to call you. a
Yeah, I
witch.
thought that was weird. I was like, what makes me, just because I think the Earth is flat doesn't make me a witch?
A lot of people talking. I can't read the rest
The
of it.
witch flat earth or Venn diagram is probably two circles. Well,
Alright.
Yeah, take care.
Folks. Be safe. Don't
Take care of
harass
yourself.
people. I mean, I'm sure you're not, but yeah, and like.
I probably do have to get going, man.
Hey,
But
thanks,
All right,
Ben.
guys.
yeah, I'll probably see you around. Yeah.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Did you get to the part where it said it was masks serve a symbolic role. It's like a talisman. So, I mean, wearing a mask is like a talisman, is what the New England Journal of Medicine verbatim says. So that's just
this
kind of
piece, the interesting, well, the purpose that it served I think there are a couple things I looked for, which is like number one, the date, which is May 21st, 2020. And number two, it's like, it is effectively like an opinion piece. You know, it's
The New England Journal of Medicine comes out with opinion pieces?
They don't have a methodology there. They're not testing
Okay.
anything. It's a doctor, or it's 5 doctors, sort of like combining claims together and making assertions based on that. And you know, it's hard for me. I don't want to do it on your iPad and take all your time to cross-reference all of those. But there's no study that they themselves do. It's collating other evidence. So it does get into that winding thing where all of a sudden, if you really are to like deeply validating these claims, you have to read every single one of these things.
So you don't think that there's like a semblance of truth to that, where people put the mask on with the idea that it's protecting them, but it's really not? They just put it on because maybe it's the right thing to do, or there's this like an idea in their conscience that, you know, I should do this for the betterment of humanity, and if I don't, shame on me.
I think there is an element of that. Yeah, I mean, and again, I can see where where these comparisons can be made. You know, like so often I see, like, you know, healthcare. Like I see healthcare workers and they just put their masks down, all their shit, but they're still there. You know, like, you know, the sometimes the fail-safes are like excessive to the point of being not useful. You know, and a lot of people just sort of, you know, don't like masks, so they don't wear them. But I do see the idea that people see masks almost as a moral thing, and there becomes like social sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so I do see that, but it's not purely that.
But with all that being said, I mean, would you say that this is a contagious pathogen?
Yes.
Okay. And so why is it that there's masks everywhere on the ground and there's no separate receptacle next to the trash and recycling to throw your mask away?
I think the assertion has been that it's an airborne virus, and that it's not something that's, you know, transmitted over like actual physical
Like touching?
contact. Yeah.
But why do we sanitize surfaces if we can't get it if we touch?
I think that that's like one of those excessive measures that people don't really know so much that they're like, you know, again, like, you know, people, they don't have a complete accounting of all facts because the facts are myriad and near infinite, but they just take every single precaution that they can.
Everything's kind of been watered down by the internet, do you think? And it's kind of hard to get discernment on...
It is kind of like a fuzzy age in that sense, you know.
So then, with that being said, don't I have to go on experience in that I'm healthy, as considering, and I, you know, just need to take care of my own constitution. Like, I'm only responsible for this avatar, right? I can't really, in all seriousness, be worried about everybody else's health when I have my own personal health to deal with, which is more than normal people. And so, like, for me, like, that's where I come to, is like, health is a personal responsibility. It is not a group's responsibility to do that.
There are externalities. I think, well, that's even a step further than what I want to start with you with there, which is the idea that, you know, any of our actions are self-contained. You know, like, you know, we live in a complex ecosystem in nature, and you know, we're breathing the same air, we're drinking the same water. And so I hear that there's not like some sort of natural law that says that we have to consider the consequences of others, but there are consequences upon others. And then given that information, you know, what does a rational, what does a good person think? So,
what do you think of the incentives? Do you think it's logical for them to give out incentives for the jab, but not for, like, you know, chemotherapy or diabetes, insulin, and things of that nature too? Like, how come all of a sudden the healthcare system has become this conglomerate philanthropy?
I do hear that. I hear that there are, like, you know, like, perverse incentives in, like, the healthcare system. But at the same time, cancer isn't transmissible. Diabetes is, you can contract it, but it isn't transmissible. And yeah, I mean, I do see like a privatized healthcare system. I do see that as having perverse incentives. They don't have an incentive to heal you.
Like pharmaceuticals.
You know, it's like they treat you like a customer.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, I think that is a perverse incentive that nonetheless has come about because of capitalism. You know, and you know, self-interest without the consideration of your neighbor. You're doing a very good job listening to you, by the way.
Sure.
You are a good listener.
Oh yeah, thanks.
So.
Josh was great.
But
I'm sorry, I haven't met you.
Miles.
Miles. My name is Ben. You guys are teammates here.
Yeah, we were just dealing with those rascals here earlier. And
Pretty cool. I would have wanted to talk to them more. Anyone who likes sticking
no,
around
you don't
and
want to
talk.
talk to them.
yeah,
I kind of do though. They seem
No, they
seem a
are.
little
They're not
aggro.
being truthful with you. They're going to use your own goodness to trick you into doing something for them.
Are you a Mormon?
no, I'm not.
No, but
Like what Joshua was saying, like don't project your goodness onto those people.
Yeah.
Like they're going to pretend you're your friend, and as soon as you do it for them, they're stabbing you right in the back.
let me give you this dope ass Bible. It's like I'm not super religious, but occasionally you find something that really is just like resonant and
Sure.
concise, and it's I don't remember. I should get it fucking tattooed on myself so I never forget it. But it's like I'll be throwing you as if to the wolves, so be as cunning as snakes and innocent as doves.
Yeah.
So you can still be kind to people.
Well, I mean, that was
Little
the whole. That's kind of one of the reasons why allegedly they came here to begin with, is they heard through the grapevine that I was harassing people, and it's like, well, I'm
I think
allowed
you're
to.
intense.
I'm allowed.
I like that you're intense.
This is
I'm
this
a
is
high
a
fire
tense
person.
topic. I mean, this is a. You know, I don't take no shit from anybody when they walk by and harass me. And it's like, well, I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm not going to call people names. I don't call people names per se. But I am going to stand up for myself. And their interpretation of me standing up for myself is harassment. And it's like, well, I've been doing this for 4 years. And I don't let people I don't just let things roll off and just like, because otherwise you become a pushover.
Well, I'd
You know?
be careful there. There is a line there,
And I try to skate on it. Sometimes I cross it a little bit, but this is a difficult topic to talk about it publicly. And these are now it's like you don't talk about politics, religion, and COVID with people nowadays, and flat Earth now. And so I feel like I have to talk about it. You know, it's something that needs to be brought up. And even this topic of flat Earth can quench the flames of frustration and anger when they came up to the table first, because then sooner or later we start talking about flat Earth, and it's like, okay, well, I can see where, you know, but I don't agree with it, you know.
There's a whole lot of surface area here for people to disagree with.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I don't want you to take my word for it.
There's something about this topic in general that is
It's inflammatory.
It's okay if I
it's
just read
a
this.
no, it's
Yeah, of
not
course you can, yeah.
inflammatory.
NASA documents.
It's a
So all the highlighted portions
de-escalation.
are
You
what
ever
you
heard
need to
that
look
term
at.
before?
Okay. So
they're like bombs when they come to the table. They're ready to
Oh, is this the
explode.
thing where you
You have to
just
they have to
assume
be
it's flat,
deactivated because
Yeah.
they're ready to explode.
Yeah, they're NASA.
There's something about this
and
idea.
I feel like I'm on the other side of this.
No, yeah,
I feel bad for
this
you
is
guys
like-
because
You
you
have
guys
an
are.
open mind. That's why you're not ready
Yeah.
to explode.
I mean, you guys are
over
put into
a-
like a
they
defensive
fly
position
over
all
a
day,
Yeah.
you know, and I feel
flat,
like
non-rotating Earth.
you have
this is
a
the
reasonable
assumption.
expectation that people
Yeah, yeah.
aren't going to be kind
So,
to you. I hope to at least
what
be
what
an
the
exception.
military and
And
the government
this-
does is
the
they
world works.
release this stuff,
They always
but then
attack
through TV
whatever
and education,
challenges
that's how they teach
how
the masses.
people think
And it's
the
really
world
up to
works.
you
You know, like
to look
Jesus.
behind the veil and
Jesus
investigate
kinda
these claims
came
that
here,
government
religious.
makes through
Yeah,
education.
Jesus came
Why would they
here
want the Earth?
to
Why would
say,
they want
hey,
us to
look,
think it's round?
what you guys
So
are
my
doing right
idea
now
is that
isn't
there's an
working.
ancient civilization
And,
that is
you
overarching,
need to
ruling
know
over us.
that
Oh, okay.
this
Cool.
is
Like
so
the
from, like,
Aztecs
work
maybe,
for
or
creation.
Tataria, you know
Yeah.
about
They killed 'em.
Tataria behind you? I wrote it in
That's how
chalk
these
there.
people work. They
Tataria and mud floods. You know what mud
whoever
floods are?
challenges
No, I haven't
their
heard either.
belief.
Check out mud floods.
That's how demonic
It's
this
the
place
concept
is.
that we get
That's
as a
how
human
they're-
race reset
The people
every
that
few hundred
inhabit.
years.
Wow.
They're not.
100 years
since they
ago, they
rebel
were
against
teaching
God,
flat Earth
they're
in
cursed.
school.
Oh. Okay.
I remember that.
So
That's what
there have been
happens
a
when you
lot
rebel
of
against
older
God. You
people
become
who are
cursed.
like 100 or 99 years old or something who have testified that
and
in
when you-
high
when you
school
realize
we
you
were
can
taught
curse,
Earth flat Earth.
It's often too late.
Yeah.
Because
But then
that curse
the
is already
invention of
sunk in.
television and the educational system came along, and that's
the-
when
what's
they
the other
started
Bible verse?
propagating the idea of
I
outer
rejoice
space
more
because of aliens.
Oh, okay.
for the redemption
So
of
the
one
idea
sinner
that
than
we're
99
technologically
people
advanced, you know, with all the stuff that we're
who
doing,
have been righteous
how is
their
it
whole
that
lives.
in evolution
It's-
terms,
it's
do you believe in
one of the ones,
evolution?
right?
Yeah, I do.
I feel like
So
that's a demonstration.
how is it that human beings have been around for estimated 50,000
Forgiveness is
years,
always
and it's
there.
taken us
Yeah,
the last
forgiveness
100
is
years to do
different.
this?
Forgiveness is what the Bible
Yeah,
teaches.
but maybe that is weird.
So
It
to
also
me, it's
teaches
weird
how
because
to,
what is happening is they're withholding technology
be
from
aware
us
of
and
this
weaning
place
it up to us
and what this
over a
place
period of
is
time.
all
Oh,
about.
okay, cool. And who's
This place
like,
is all about
Oh, they're
traps.
withholding us.
Yeah, they're
oh,
withholding
like they'll give us
information.
This place is
limited,
all
like,
about traps.
Yes. It's
It's
not
like-
about
it's a lot
it's,
like
see, the
when
thing about
hunters
lying.
go out
They like
and
release
set
it from the
traps
like.
for-
Yeah,
okay.
it's not
They're-
about lying.
they're
It's about
prey.
withholding information.
oh,
That's the
okay.
whole point.
That's
That
how
makes
this
sense.
whole
Is they
system
the
The hierarchy
of
enslaving
people
you.
have developed it
Okay.
for you to fall
Like, is
into
it like
their
kind
trap,
of like an
fall
overarching,
into
like
their
aliens,
system.
or like an overarching belief? Or?
No, it's an
World is a world of
overarching
traps. I have
cabal
I have
of
felt that before.
elitists
Yeah, I have
Okay.
felt
that
Like,
have a
you fall
pure
into a hole.
bloodline.
Oh, of like humans?
Oftentimes,
They're
whenever
actually
you
human. I hear
get
the tone
around
of your
someone
voice.
with power,
Yeah.
I want to say,
they'll
like
set
in
up
your
things
heart,
for
you're
you to do
curious,
for them.
Yeah.
but on the
And they're
exterior,
just-
you don't believe
they're just
anything I
traps
say.
for you
And that's
to
great.
fall
I don't want you to
into
believe
their
anything I say. I want
next
you to look
trap.
up mudbloods.
They set you up.
Look up
along the way.
Tataria.
Yeah, I will.
You know, find out some of
You
these
don't-
reasons
you know
why
who
they
you're not
withhold
allowed-
technology from us.
You know who
Okay.
Like
has power
Tesla.
over you
Cool.
when you're not
Tesla
allowed to
technology.
question them.
What about Elon?
Oh, like Tesla.
That's why these people get so mad.
like
is because
like
when you
Tesla
question them,
from Nikola
they
Tesla.
want to attack
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
they
he
feel
was,
like
like,
they're over you.
revolutionary.
Yeah, for sure. Like at the World's Fair in,
They feel like
in
they're over
1890,
us.
he had a
So they say, "Hey,
self-perpetuating
how dare you
energy
question
machine.
Yeah. No, that's
and,
true.
And what happens
That's
is
how
when
this
you get
place
high
works,
enough
man.
into the ether, into the sky, like 1,500
We're
to
just-
I
2,000
think
feet,
that's an interpretation.
the sky is more
but
electrical,
I've,
and you can harness
I've
the
yet to
ether,
be convinced.
and
That's
That's not an invitation
through
to
the
try to
through the
to
tower,
convince me
you can
right
create ground
now.
cables,
The Bible teaches no
and then
hierarchy.
have perpetual
I've yet
energy
to
for
be
everyone.
convinced
Do you
that
believe in
that's
ether?
the social
The
phenomenon.
ether,
The Bible
yeah,
teaches
that's what we're
no
in right now.
hierarchy.
Okay.
and
No
that's what gives us
hierarchy.
Line will
consciousness.
Oh,
lay
okay.
down with
The
the land
ether?
and that
Yep.
kind
Is
of
that
thing.
No
That's the
hierarchy
air in which we breathe.
except
So
for
you
God.
feel it when it's
There's
windy.
no
Yeah.
power
You
here
feel the
except
resistance
for
in
God.
the matter that's in the winds.
Yeah, Aristotle.
We wrestle
wrote
against
ether.
these people who
And
have
so we
spirits
are
in them.
we are like
And they're
resonant
demonically
frequencies in the
possessed.
ether.
Yeah,
You know what,
Aristotle-
like crystals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like crystals, because like if you look at granite,
What?
you have rocks next to each
Because
other that have
I've
fused
seen
together. So we are like
I've seen
crystals
where
where
they
we
like-
can see the definition
like
of our
you.
skin separate from
They're
the
like
air that
those
we
people that were
breathe.
here earlier.
But we're
Those
still
are
in a
demons.
liquid environment.
Can you?
So we're
We're
spiritual
just kind of
beings.
like waves of like.
Yeah.
It really is.
We're
like
waves
a, like
of
a,
sound
everything
and
is
light.
waves. No, that's actually true.
You can
Everything
understand
is
like a
waves.
basic.
So when you
I don't
see
say
a
all
frog
sort
in
of-
very shallow water, you see it,
I'm
you know,
trying not
it's
to-
reverberating
Yeah.
Like, I
the.
wanna challenge a little
That's
bit,
your
but I
thought,
feel like you guys,
and that's your idea.
challenge
So when you
along
think
that.
negatively towards somebody, or you think like they're bullshitting you, and they're lying, and you haven't really investigated what they're claiming, you're already creating inside of your heart stone to then thwart any ideas, new ideas that would come into your realm.
Like walking the
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
talking about cognitive dissonance is what it's called. Because your foundation of your experience and your education are so strong that for example, my ideas would pull you like Velcro away from those ideas. And then you would feel lost without them. Because then everybody else around you
Yeah, it's like if
agrees.
you're like,
rule this entire
like if you're really rooted in something, it's like over time it's harder and harder to pull that tree up once it grows. Yeah.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks,
No,
right?
that's true, yeah. Well, it's like what you're talking about when like kids are born into like a Christian or Jewish. It's like, I mean, you might have a choice, but like really, you're kind of destined.
Yeah, you really are.
No, I totally agree with that. Like
Because
a lot of
everyone else
people,
here has
they'll
been
think
demonized.
that they have a
Demonized
choice in what
themselves.
religion they
They're
are.
no longer
But
human.
really, like if you grew up in a different house, you would be that you would go that way. It's
Yeah,
not
you
your
would.
choice.
It would be like the same thing as if to say, like, if you were raised to think yellow is blue,
There's no one home.
and then you go to school and you're like, oh, there's, blue, and then it's like, no, that's yellow, and you're like, wait, I was taught this way when I was growing up, and now everybody, like Western society, everybody thinks this way. Yellow isn't blue, blue is blue, and yellow is yellow, right?
That's where they get power.
And so when people come to this table, for example, all of their schooling, everything that they've ever done through movies and TV,
their soul.
come to this table and say, well, if the earth is flat, then where's the edge? So my thing is that don't replace the concept of the flat earth like a disc floating to the globe. So don't replace one model with another. For me, I think that this is the realm of Earth, the center is the North Pole, and the sun goes around the Earth like this. And
I want to find like common ground.
and so it's just a smaller and closer local sun.
Like the foundations.
And so for me, this is Earth, but then land and water go on infinitely forever. Because my thing is that outer space is real, and it goes on infinitely forever, and it's ever expanding, then why can't I say land and water go on horizontally forever?
I have like a question.
Yeah, like hoodwinked.
It implies intentionality, right?
Geocentric.
It implies that
Yeah.
actually.
But I think that the sun, like this here, it's just closer and smaller, no more, I think, than 50 miles
Right?
from the
Diameter?
ground. From the ground. Yeah.
You can be innocent.
So all the